You know him, you love him, you're gonna want more of him. Here he is now, it's Chatting with Colin. So, what'd you think of that theme song? Want to hear a little story? This is how I came up with it. Last night, Jamie said, you want to do a podcast around arts in June in Branford? I said, sure. What should I call it? Chatting with Colin, obviously, right? So I had a drink or two, and I wrote the jingle, and I started to overlayer my voice. And I know it's a little busted because there's no music, but this is the first episode, and I promise you, July, it's my birthday month, so July is going to be a big, full production number. As I was coming in to BCTV today, where this podcast studio is brand new, and it's amazing, Steve Mazzacane just finished a podcast, and he was walking out. I was going to do the solo, and I was like, Steve, you want to come in? You're the podcast expert, and bounce some things off me, so it's not just me talking to you. So if you'd like, can we bring on Steve Mazzacane?
I'm glad to be here, Colin.
Hi, Steve. Thank you for all you do in keeping Branford informed on your website and on social media. You know I watch all your stuff. And
listen, even without me here, you'd be just fine. Like you've got more than enough energy to manage this year. That you are by far the more pro at this than I am. So, but I'm happy to be here with you.
Well, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the theme song.
One of the best I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that we're gonna put that as a pull quote from Steve Mazzacane.
One of the best I've ever heard. There's
our first quote for the Chatting with Colin, episode 1. June, here we are. Happy Pride Month. You know I love Pride Month. Rainbow's my favorite color. All month long. Don't worry, I'll be putting the pride flags out after Flag Day. So they're going to be on Main Street for the latter half of June. So we could show the LGBTQIA plus family all of our love. There's lots going on in Branford this month. A ton. I don't know if you know, but I recently, I think in April, started a Walking Wednesdays group. So some town employees, some people from the rec department, some of my neighbors and friends, they all come down. We meet at the community house at 1:00 and we walk for about an hour all throughout the center. We do a couple loops. It ends up being about 2.5 miles. And I actually do it almost every day that it's nice out, but Wednesdays is the specific dedicated day that I go to the public, and you could come once, you could come every time, you could not come at all, but it gets me out of the office and it gets me moving and grooving, which the doctor tells me I have to do, so I'm going to do. The doctor, Dr. Phil, Oprah, Dr. Oz, you know, all the doctors, right, Steve?
I don't know about all those doctors. Is this something you sign up for, or you just show up?
You just show up.
All right.
It's free. It's free. And if once we get enough people, I want shirts. We're going to be the Wednesday Walkers. So that's my goal, a Wednesday Walker shirt. It's the little things in life. Okay, what else do we have going on? Every Sunday in Stony Creek, we have the farmers market from 10 to 2. I have driven by it, and I went there once, and it was they had a variety of things, artisans and food and honey and candles, and it was great. And from 10 to 2, if you're in the Stony Creek area or just want to go see the lovely Thimble Islands, take a cruise on the Sea Mist, check out the Legacy Theater. Also check out the farmers market. Saturday, June 7th, the Stony Creek is having in Stony Creek, it's having the Strawberry Festival. It's an annual festival that happens on the church lawn. Now, my favorite day of the year is Tony Awards. It's the lowest viewed award show of all the award shows, but it's my favorite. It's what made me fall in love with Broadway. I remember watching them at home. I think it was around 95, 96. Nathan Lane was the host, and I remember just watching them. I've never missed a year. I actually went there one year with Greg Noble, Branford's own Greg Noble. We know Greg Noble is a 4-time Tony Award winner, an amazing producer, really, I mean, the best of the best, and so young. And he's actually nominated for another Tony for Romeo and Juliet, best revival of a play. And so that's on Sunday, June 8th, and it streams on Paramount Plus, and it's on CBS from 8 to 11.
Speaking of Greg, when is CNN running the Good Night and Good Luck?
That's this Saturday. That's the one with George Clooney, and that is at 7 o'clock on CNN.
So you got into theater from the Tony Awards?
Well, I mean, I first got into theater, seeing like little children's plays at the library. But my first real memory, and like I had a lot of family in New York growing up, so I saw a lot of Broadway shows. I think my first Broadway show was when I was 10 years old, and it was Cats. So that I fell in love there. But my first show, like real musical, was Bye Bye Birdie at the high school.
Okay.
In 94. So
But
94, and then 95 was when I saw my first show, and then 99 was when I was on the Rosie show, and 2003 was when I was in Les Mis on Broadway. And
I wonder, the Tonys is basically like a review of all the hits from Broadway that year. I wonder if more people watched that, they'd get more access to Broadway.
oh, I could tell you that
I never watched the Tonys.
I hear stories from like people, in Ohio and Wyoming that they see the Tony Awards and they fell in love with Broadway. If you think about it, the first show to really promote Broadway, like a lot, was the Rosie O'Donnell show in the 90s and early 2000s. So I remember when I went to college, all of the kids, their favorite show was the Rosie show, because at least once a week she would have a Broadway cast perform a number, or a Broadway star or legend come on for an interview. So, I mean, she was really an advocate for the Broadway community. So,
well, the big play at that time was, what was it called again? There was something called Rent at that time. That was a pretty big show. Yeah.
Rent, yes.
We'll talk about that later.
And Rent, I mean, is the show I saw on Broadway the most times, probably 20 times, because it was a show I would bring people to, my friends that were like, ugh, I hate Broadway. And I'll be like, okay, let me bring you to this show, Rent. And we would do the Student Rush or the Rush tickets, where you stay there for hours and you get $20 front row tickets. That's really the first show that did that. And I love Rent. I really do. And we will talk about that later. What's your favorite show, or what's the show you've seen the most?
The show I saw by far is Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Book of Mormon is just
another one that like changed. I saw Avenue Q.
That was a kind of a precursor for Book of Mormon.
Yeah, my friend Jason Moore directed it, and I think I was 18 or 19. It was 2003. Yeah, and for my birthday.
The impact Rent had, I didn't fully understand. Like, I was really religious growing up, so I didn't see stuff like Rent. And then when I saw it at the Schubert for its 20 or 30, whatever tour, and you're seeing it with an age group of people who have now seen this 3, 4, 5 times. So even afterwards, getting something to eat, you're talking to people that are like, this changed my life, this opened door. And it's such an impactful play for so many, this whole generation of people.
And like Hair, the rock and roll, that was the first like rock and roll musical in the 60s or 70s. And then the Who's Tommy in the early 90s, and then Rent in mid 90s. But there would be no In the Heights or Hamilton without Rent, Book of Mormon. So I was saying I saw Avenue Q, and that's like an adult puppet show that's also a musical. So you see puppets, you see performers without puppets. It's like hysterical, but you can't imagine the things that they are getting away with on that stage. Your jaw drops. And then it's nothing compared to the Book of Mormon. I mean, I love the Book of Mormon. I saw it front row. My friend Scott Barnhart was in it. I was with my Aunt Elaine. And it's funny because I was right behind the conductor, and there's a conductor cam on Broadway. So when the actors are on stage, they could see the conductor without having to look right down at them. So my friend said he had more fun watching myself and my aunt with the jaw on the ground than performing in the show. So, because he could see me in the cam. But enough about that. I mean, let's keep going on. Legacy Theater. They have the world premiere of Long Days, which is a backstage comedy. And that's running from June 12th through June 29th. For more information and to get tickets, go to legacytheaterct.org. And that's theater spelled the proper English way, theatra, with an R-E. And then, you know it, you love it, just like my theme song, the Branford Festival. I'm the corporate board president, and this year, it's moving to Hammer Field. We're really excited to have more space, level square footage, more amusements. There's going to be a couple other surprises. I can't wait for you to see what's there. So, Branford Festival, Saturday's the Artisan Marketplace with Shoreline Chamber. That's actually going to be in the community house parking lot.
Okay.
This year, that's the thing that's on Saturday mornings, usually from like 8 to 3. So that's going to be in the parking lot. There's going to be entertainment all day Saturday.
I believe, I could be wrong, is there a liquor tent this year?
There may be. That's where we're at today.
All right.
I was supposed to have an answer on that, and
You don't have one yet.
there may be.
Let's go back for a second to
Yeah.
the legacy show. Like,
Yeah.
People talk about legacy shows, and there's a podcast coming out where I talk to Jeff from Legacy, but that's a unique situation where we have original works.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people like to go see the Book of Mormon and Rent and all the shows that they know, and they should absolutely go see those. But seeing original works is important too. So if people have the next 3 weeks free, it starts I think next weekend. But if they have a chance to see that, definitely try to grab tickets and check it out, and then give some feedback. Let the director and the writer know about it. And there's a day, I believe it's the first Saturday. There's a matinee where there's some free tickets for.
Yeah,
for
that's
that
the
too.
Connecticut Open House.
Yeah.
So if you go to just Google CT Open House or call Legacy, and you could get to see it for free. New Works. The reason we do New Works is to put it in front of an audience and to get their feedback, because that is why you guys are there. It's sort of like a focus group,
Well, look at like Greg's story with the Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, right?
Yeah.
So he saw this in a small
Hartford stage.
with a Hartford stage, not really nothing, not the Schubert or the Bushnell or Broadway, but he saw that and decided, man, this is something. It can become, so we could be, something here at Legacy where somebody sees the right show, and the next thing you know, I remember when I saw this when it was the first thing. So it's a cool thing that Branford residents have.
Yeah, it's sort of, just to give you a little bit about it, it's sort of, it follows A Long Day's Journey into the Night, and that's the Eugene O'Neill play, and it's about a theater company putting that show on, and I think the theater company doesn't have a lot of money, and disastrous things happen. I have yet to be in a rehearsal, but I can't wait to check out the invited dress rehearsal next week. But yeah, definitely come on down. And if I'm there, say hi. Seeing a world premiere is really special to be one of the first. Speaking of the Branford Festival, do you like the Branford Festival?
So, look, I'm not a ride guy, but I usually go on Saturdays to walk through the booths. I was happy the last few years. So it used to be for a while the booths were all getting to be corporate. And then suddenly there was a push to have Baca more involved and get more of these booths. So I like having more of the crafts at the booths. And then we have Prince's one night.
Prince is the first night. They were rained out last year.
Okay.
And then Bon Jovi cover
Jovi's the other
band and Timmy Maya and
Everybody
John
knows Timmy, yep.
Spignesi.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of local talent because we did want to promote local too, in addition to some of the bigger names.
And I think the move to Hammerfield is going to be a really good move for the town.
Yeah, listen, we know it rains, we know it floods, we can't control that. We couldn't control that on the green.
You can't control that either. That's true.
We know there's parking issues. People they found parking for the festival. They find parking for the jazz. There's going to be parking issues, but there's a shuttle. There's the shuttle from 53 and Branford High School, and there's lots of parking around there. So, I think it's going to be great. As if it doesn't rain and if the geese aren't on the field, and but please, I see it all. Although I'm not allowed in that one Branford B group. I've tried.
Are we the wrong sex or something? We can't quite get
I think
in that
so.
group? Okay.
But I think I'm a pretty big B, Steve.
I would make that argument for you, but I'm not going to make it for myself.
Yes. So, Branford B's, if you're watching, let me in. I'm just going to help you. I'll do your $5 challenges. Come on. You need Colin Sheehan. Who do I got to talk to? Okay, but what about the Branford Road Race? Are you planning on running this year?
Am I planning on running this year?
Yeah.
Well, as I was telling you earlier, I started Ozempic a few weeks ago. It's going to take me, maybe next year I'll start thinking about it if this all works according to plan. But and it's working a little bit, but I got a long way to go before I start running any races.
Yeah, I don't think I've never done the 5 mile.
Yeah.
I've never done the 2 mile. I know as a kid I ran the 1 mile. a bunch of times, but no, I'm not running either. And since you were just honest, I will let you all know I was on Ozempic for about 8 months, and now I'm on Mounjaro, and I am proud to say it. And I've lost a little over 80 pounds. I feel great, and I'm a big advocate for it. I think science
I have
is
no
real.
problem. You know, people ask, do you mind talking about it? I don't mind talking about anything. Like,
No.
if
I actually can't stand the celebrities that we know are on it. And actually, not even celebrities. I know some people in Branford that I know is on it and not being honest. And like, if you can help another person, because it truly changed my life.
Listen, if I am 100 pounds overweight and taking years off my life, I will, from the top of a rooftop, yell, I'm taking something to help extend my life. I have no problem having that conversation. If anybody wants to ask about it or that kind of stuff, I'd be glad to. Because anything you can do to make yourself... I feel like it's got the same stigma as mental health. We're afraid of talking about mental health. Why? It's real. There's mental health issues.
Yeah, especially my parents' generation, they don't want to ask for help from anyone.
That's crazy.
But the younger generation, they actually all realize that they need to talk to people, and a lot of them are seeing therapists and doing the things that they should do to help their anxiety.
About being overweight is like you can hide a drug problem.
Right.
You could hide a drinking problem.
Right.
You can't hide it being overweight. I mean, clearly, and it's a calorie thing, and it's clearly for some reason that's something I'm trying to get a handle on. I mean, if I got to take a pill, I'll take a pill. Or a shot in this case.
Well, yes, for sure. And
you look great, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel great, and I know you are going to too in a few months. Okay, that weekend of the festival, just so you know, Saturday is when the Historical Society does their strawberry shortcake. Oh. I've never had it. I hear it's amazing. And I found out today that Saturday, June 14th is National Strawberry Shortcake Day.
Is it really?
I swear to God. So you should try the shortcake because I hear it's amazing. We should definitely support the Historical Society. The other thing that is on June 14th is Flag Day. So that's why Main Street, it looks gorgeous with all the American flags. And after, I think June 16th is when we will make sure we are putting up the pride flags. So everyone in Branford feels welcome and that we love them because we do.
And I think that if we do the strawberry shortcake for obvious reasons, why don't you and I split one?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want one by myself. Okay.
Deal.
All right, good.
So I have to say, Steve, you have been such a big supporter of theater in general, Legacy, coming to the high school shows. When I started Shoreline Theater Company with Mike Martone, under the guidance of the town of Branford and Branford Parks and Recreation, and how it started out as a adult theater company. The first show we did was Hairspray, and then the first camp we did was Aladdin, and we had 31 campers. And this summer we're doing The Descendants, and we have 104 campers.
Holy cow!
From 7 different towns. So I want to thank you for coming to the shows and reviewing them, especially the adult shows, but also to let you know and to invite you, if you can, to come to Rent, which is going to be June 19th and 20th and June 26th and 27th at Branford High School in the Kathy Ann Roding Auditorium. This cast is crazy. There's a ton of new faces. They're so talented, and they range in age from like 16 to 67. And that has just kept growing too. I mean, I love it. So if you could come, Rent, it's the 19th and 20th and 26th and 27th, the second to last and the last Thursday and Friday in June, 7:00. And June 21st is the annual Branford Fireworks, and that will be again shot off at Branford Point. But you could still see them at
Foot Park. You have
Foot
a great
Park.
view. Yeah, no question.
Yeah, so I'm sure you could see them from your house.
If you get the right angle.
When they shot them, the year I think they shot them off from Foot Park, right?
Yep.
That one year I could see them great.
They were
on where I live. So that's the fireworks. That rain date is Saturday the 22nd. So it's usually the Saturday after the Branford Festival. I know it feels early this year, but the festival feels a little early this year. So I think, just so you know, there's been lots of rumors. Why are the Branford fireworks happening on the festival? Why are they happening the 4th of July? Why are they not happening? Why? So to set the record straight, June 21st with a rain date of June 22nd. Got it? Any questions, call Branford Parks and Recreation or go to branfordrecreation.org. June 26th, the last Thursday in June, begins all of our Branford Jazz on the Green concerts. And those concerts are going to take place on the back green. So behind Town Hall, it's like a natural amphitheater. We did the TGIF Friday concerts there. We're going to do jazz there, the musical Mondays. And when we do TGIF Fridays again, we'll all be there. So the trailer's actually moving to Hammerfield for the festival, and then it will be moving back, and it will stay there for all of these fabulous events. Do you ever check out Branford Jazz, any of those groups?
I drive, but I'm not a big sit on the green and listen. I mean, there's been some bands that I said, okay, let me go check them out. So, but I have made it a point to like eat at Mabella or home while the music's going on. So you're there and you.
That's good. I haven't been to Mabella yet. Is it great? My friend owns it.
It's very good.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Good. I gotta go. BranfordJazz.com is the website for that, where you could check out the lineup and everything. So that's it. That's a lot happening in June. You know, we're gonna have a lot of fun together. I'm gonna try to do this once a month just to like get everyone informed. If you have an event that you want me to talk about, just give me a ring at the Branford Parks and Recreation and ask for Colin, or you could email me, csheehan@branford-ct.gov. I think this is going to be fun. And Steve, I love that you jumped in because I really, truly was like, how am I going to do this by myself? But I love having someone to bounce off of. And like you asked some great questions and you added stuff that I wouldn't. So I think I will probably have a guest every episode too.
I think it's a good idea. Go back and forth.
Yeah.
And listen, I mean, people need to know, part of the health of a town is that people come out and do things. We think about a town of infrastructure and police and fire, but it's also hiring you full-time was a huge step for this town. It's been a priority of Jamie Cosgrove while he's been here his 12 years to, get people outside. Go out and do things. You don't have to be wealthy. These are free events.
Yeah.
Get out, enjoy being in Branford. And I think that's one of the things. I moved here 17 years ago, and one of the things I love about Branford is, you can go to any of these events, half the people, it's a great place to be. And I'll also suggest find a neighbor and bring them, especially elderly people. Like we have a loneliness pandemic among seniors. Come on out, come to the senior center, come out. I mean, Dale and you were doing a great job over there at the community house and the senior center. I know there's some discussions about meals going on there, which I've been pushing for the last forever. But, if you're home alone, if you're lonely, please, make a phone call, find out what's going on, go on the website, come on out, go see some live music, sit on the grass, get out of the house.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to be part of this community, and this what makes Branford really an amazing town. And I think, honestly, I don't know that other towns do anything. Towns have events.
So the most towns do have a summer concert series, and it's 8 to 12 concerts. That is it. I could tell you that last summer we produced 40 concerts on the Branford Green. We really got our use out of that showmobile. Like other towns have showmobiles that they use once or twice a year.
Heck, even something simple. And this was due to the pandemic, but Jamie went and put tables and chairs on the green.
Oh my gosh.
That changes the game. And it just makes it so much more and I love like Guilford's green is beautiful and other towns have beautiful greens. I like the fact that our green is used. I like that it's lived in. And I know people complain that we have a project coming up. It's a little bit delayed because of one of the bid issues. Remember, that's largely funded by the state, so it's not the town holding this up, but it is what it is. But, we're investing in those things. We want people out. And I think that is something that really is unique to Branford.
Yeah.
And you're a huge part of that, Colin.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting. And Branford just loves the arts. And I mean, I always thought I was going to be a New Yorker. I mean, I was born in New York. I lived in Branford from when I was like 1.5 to when I graduated high school. And then I went to Wagner College for musical theater. And then I stayed in New York. I worked for Rosie. I worked for Wendy Williams. I've had a million odds and end jobs. And really in 2014, when I moved back because Greg Noble was starting The Stand, the restaurant, and I was working for him at Seaview Productions at the time, I thought I was going to come back for a summer, and I never left because I fell in love. I fell in love with Branford. I never left. I always came home for the holidays and home for the Branford Festival and certain things. I always kept Branford very close to home and did benefits and brought Broadway stars in and people from college. But I could say for sure, moving back to Branford was the best thing I could have done in my life. I've gotten closer with my family. I've gotten closer with friends. Jamie Cosgrove has been so supportive, and I have a bunch of dream jobs. I really wanted to create the theater scene that I yearned for as a kid because you probably don't believe this, Steve, but I didn't really like sports.
Well, everything about you screams you'll be a basketball star. I was, when I first met you, I thought this guy's an athletic guy.
Yeah.
He could dunk on me.
Yeah, basketball, I love when they get home runs in basketball.
It's an amazing thing to see.
It's so funny because my sister and my parents and my brother, they're all such sports people, and I can't, like, when they're watching a game, they're watching a performance. When they are at a practice,
100%.
they're at rehearsal.
Yep.
When they are wearing their uniform, it's a costume. I mean, I have to be honest. I was an altar boy. I went to St. Mary's for 10 years. I was the class president in 1999. Thank you. And, you know, it was a lot being with the same 28 people. And then I was the first person to go to public school in my family. And that was a big issue. But I wanted to go to public school for the arts.
Yeah.
Kathy Ann Roding and Tony had a great program. And the fact that myself and Mike Martone are able to run it now and have for the last 8 years, and we were part of the program. And then what I do at Legacy and what I do at the town. I mean, I have 3 dream jobs. And I love what I do. And I love people like you that support it. And
So you're telling me don't send you the job listings that I've been sending you to?
I know. I've gotten a few. I got one from you, and I got one from someone else at Town Hall. I'm not going to say your name because you told me not to. And I've also been getting a lot of comments about the June issue of Branford Neighbors. I don't get this at my house. So if you don't get it, I just want to say it's a great article. Mary Grandy did a great job. The photographer, Bob, incredible. We used Legacy to shoot it. They wanted me to take the picture on Hammer Field because of the Branford Festival. I said, I think I could do better. You know, this is a little more Colin Sheehan than me spinning around like Maria von Trapp in The Sound of Music on Hammer Field. With that said, next time we're going to have a more professional theme song, and it's going to be my birthday month. And who knows what guests we're going to have. Thank you for watching the first episode of Chattin' with Colin, and we'll see you in July. You know him, you love him, you're going to want more of him. Here he is now, it's Chattin' with Colin.